Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alright, so today I'm going to be unboxing a pink 1972 Lotus Europa Matchbox car, which I am looking forward to doing much more so than not. Not just because I am personally a big fan of the stylization of the Lotus Europa, a British-made mid-engine sports car that was produced from 1966 to 1975, but I'm also excited for this experience simply due to the fact that when I was a kid, I owned a Lotus Europa Matchbox car and have been looking for another one for a little while now. As when I was a teenager, I had the thought, for some reason, to be really mature and get rid of a bunch of my childhood toys. Now, for most of the toys, I don't regret getting rid of them. It was just basic childhood stuff, and hey, I got rid of it, and I don't worry about it. But there's one group of toys that I very much regret getting rid of, and that's my childhood Matchbox and Hot Wheels die-cast car collection. I don't know why I got rid of them. It's one of my biggest regrets, I'll acknowledge. But I got rid of my childhood Matchbox car and die-cast car collection in general for whatever reason when I was a teenager, just because I was trying to be really mature, quote-unquote kind of thing. 2 years later, I realized my mistake and immediately regretted it. But what's done is done. And so for the last couple years now, every time I see a Matchbox or Hot Wheels car that is similar to or is the exact same one that I owned when I was a kid, I go ahead and buy it. And that's the case with this Lotus Europa right here. This is pretty much the exact same as the Lotus Europa I owned when I was a kid, except for the fact that it's pink rather than being green. If I'm remembering correctly, at least, I want to say the Lotus Europa I owned when I was younger was green. Could be mistaken, though. My memory is a bit hazy. Either way, I am very excited for this experience today, and I am looking forward to unboxing this Matchbox car right here. I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and quickly cover the packaging, now shouldn't I? After I cover the packaging, I'm going to go ahead and grab a thumbnail for this video, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and, well, get the, Lotus Europa inside this little plastic case right here, all out, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it outside of the packaging for the first time. I'm going to go over the look of it, the quality of it. I'm going to see how good it rolls, and I'm just going to let y'all know what I think of it as a whole, and then after that, well, I'm going to give y'all my final thoughts on whether this was a good purchase of $1.25 or not, and I'm going to, well, maybe give this car a rating as well. But first off, as said, we've got to go over the packaging, which we can see is very much that of the standard Matchbox car packaging. It's nothing too crazy by any means. We can see a backboard of a paperboard slash cardboard material with an inked design on the front of it. Of course, there's a plastic bubble slash sleeve right here holding the car itself onto the cardboard sort of backing with glue. And overall, the design itself on the backing looks pretty solid. We get an orange background up here, making it very distinct on the shelves. Up here, we could see the Lotus logo right there, as of course, this is indeed a licensed product. Up here, we could see there's some numbers, just says 30782. Don't know exactly what that means, but it means something, I'm sure. To the side of that, on the other side, it just says that this is a car made with metal, so it's not a plastic die-cast, it's a metal die-cast, although, of course, it does indeed have a plastic base, I do want to acknowledge. We can see it says under that, designed for a lifetime. How long a lifetime is really does depend on your definition, I do suppose, but I'm figuring they mean somewhere in the line of 50 to 60 years, so I'm hoping that this is of equivalent quality for that period of time. That's my definition of a lifetime, at least, I'll acknowledge. Below that, we can see the actual Matchbox logo itself, the iconic Matchbox logo. It's been very... trying to remember the right way of putting it. It's been very familiar to me for years now, over a decade now, for decades now, literally, ever since I was a young kid and first got my first die-cast car, which I'm pretty sure was a Matchbox. I mean, like, this logo has been just iconic to me. Just says Matchbox right there in black text that's slightly italicized on a white background with a yellow border going around that white background, a little bit of orange going around that, and then another white line going around that. Below the logo itself, we can see the really real true background for the design itself. We can see the Lotus Europa itself right here. Of course, it's made up of a pink and it looks fantastic design-wise. We can see it's driving on some kind of bad roads. There's a little bit of grass going on, some trees in the background, and some other like roads kind of stretching off into the background as well, kind of thing. A little bit of a tunnel back there with an orange background as well. And then below that, we can see below the grass that there's a little bit of an orange strip right here just surrounding the white background to emphasize the Lotus Europa. To the side over here, it just says that this is made by Mattel. Of course, that's Matchbox's and Hot Wheels' parent company. To the side, it just says 93 out of 100 right there. I don't know exactly what that means, but I assume they probably produced more than 93 of this specific Lotus Europa Matchbox car. I would figure they aren't that limited edition. Under that, though, it just says this is, of course, a 1972 Lotus Europa. That's in white on that orange background. And then on the other side, it just says 3+ right there. And that's pretty much all there is to the front of the packaging. Overall, a pretty clean look in my personal opinion, and one that I think is well, very reminiscent of what I saw when I was younger. Now, with a lot of Hot Wheels cars and stuff like that these days, we have been seeing shortened cardboard backings for like grocery stores and stuff like that. I bought this specific model for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, and Dollar Tree does not use the shortened cardboard sort of backings, so this has the normal sized one, which is something that I do appreciate. But that's pretty much all there is to the front of the packaging. Let's go ahead and cover the back, and we can see it's pretty much just all informational. Black text on brown, just cardboard, a little bit inked up here with a black background, but really nothing too crazy going on. The only snippet of color is right here with the warning symbol. The Matchbox logo is up there. We've got like a tree or something right there as well, kind of thing. Just says 93 out of 100, 1972 Lotus Europa. Has like, I guess maybe the model code up there or something like that. Then there's a bunch of other information. Just says warning, small parts may be generated. Says that again in many different languages. It just says that this is an official licensed product of Lotus, of course, and it just says product under license from Group Lotus Limited. Lotus, the Lotus Roundel car names, and all associated logos and distinctive designs are trademarks of Group Lotus Limited. And then it says that again in French. And then after that, it just says that it conforms to a bunch of laws and stuff like that kind of thing and whatnot. Made by Mattel. We get the barcode down there, and yep, there's a bunch of other just information. And yeah, that's really all that's going on the back. It's pretty much just informational, no really real designs going on. As said, the only pop of color is for this warning label right here. And overall, that's all there is to the packaging. Personally, I think it's a pretty solid look that is reminiscent of what a Matchbox looks like, or what Matchbox packaging used to look like, based off of my memory at least. Although, as said, my memory is a bit hazy, so I very well could be incorrect. I'm sure there are some changes from this packaging to what I remember back in the day. I just don't know exactly what they are. But real quick, before I go ahead and actually get this unboxed, now that I've covered the packaging, let's go ahead and grab a thumbnail for the video real quick. After all, gotta grab a thumbnail, gotta grab a screenshot for the video. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a thumbnail for the video. We will find out. Just taking a look at the design on the packaging more in order. It's very nicely detailed. It's very nicely detailed. Yeah, now we get the windscreen wipers and stuff like that kind of thing right there. Yeah, no, very nicely detailed model on the front of the packaging without doubt. How will the actual die-cast model be though? Well, let's go ahead and get this packaging all opened up, and let's go ahead and find out if I can avoid dropping the packaging at least. So let's just go ahead and peel it like that. get it all off, just like that. Go and put that down, and I'm just gonna put my finger through right there if I can, and I'm just gonna peel it up just like that, and go ahead and get the 1972 Lotus Europa in pink all out as well. Just feeling it. Doesn't feel super heavy by any means, and this makes canonical sense because the Lotus Europa itself was a very lightweight car, if I remember correctly. It had a fiberglass body and everything like that, so I would hope that the, well, Matchbox itself would be a little bit lighter than not. I do like my heavy die-cast cars. It just feels like quality when you have a heavy die-cast car, but, you know, having one that's a little bit light to get that canonical or get that completely accurate sort of weight going, it's not too bad by any means. I certainly don't mind it, I will acknowledge. We can see, of course, though, it's very pink. Very, very, very pink. The pink itself is pretty much just a flat pink. There's no sort of, I would have to say, like any sort of pearlescent to it or something like that you can see sometimes on Hot Wheels models. Matchbox cars, in my personal opinion, tend to have a more dull, just flat color to them, and that's kind of what we're seeing with this one right here. Of course, there is still a shine to it. There is still that gloss, that clear coat to it, and that looks pretty good. And on the hood itself, there is a gold outline just right there, which is a nice little bit of detailing. I do quite like that, or I guess it's not really the hood, it's more of the frunk, I do suppose, because of course this is a mid-engined sports car, so the engine is back here, so I guess this would actually be the hood, now wouldn't it? Taking a look at the bottom of the car just before we cover the really real details of it, we can see just says Matchbox just right up there. If we can kind of shift the car to get the lighting properly, it just says Matchbox. Under that just says copyright 2008 Mattel, made in Thailand, which is interesting because the last couple Hot Wheels cars I've unboxed have been made in, I want to say, Malaysia. And I mean, like, Matchbox and Hot Wheels, they're owned by the same parent company, Mattel, so I'm kind of surprised they're produced, honestly, in separate factories to begin with at all. They're both die-cast models, of course, two different lines, two different sort of design languages, but I am surprised they're produced in two completely different countries, and I'd be surprised if they were produced in two different factories as well. Maybe there's just another factory that they also produce Hot Wheels in that I haven't gotten a Hot Wheels from quite yet. I'm not exactly sure. There's just a bunch of numbers and stuff like that as well, and then it just says Lotus Europa Special 1972, and so that's what this car is in specific. We can kind of see like the axle on the front and the back and the powertrain going right here and whatnot, which is pretty nice. And of course we can also see the two sort of like rivets or screws holding the car together on the bottom right there as well. And of course we could see the wheels just made up of a black plastic on the bottom, but taking a look at them, of course the inside is a black plastic right there, as well as the design on the packaging would lead you to believe. But the center cap right there in the middle, that is a silver, and then there's a silver ring going around as well. Overall, in my opinion, these are pretty solid looking wheels. There's a good amount of light gray going on with the front bumper and with the side skirts and with the back bumper as well. But more so than not, it is very much made up of that pink color. There's a little bit of gray right here at the top as well. Maybe those are the fuel filler caps. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, just those little bits of gray add a nice little bit of detail. The interior itself is made up of that light gray as well. And we can see we get a clear windscreen right here with some clear side windows, although the main windows itself, those are actually just not there kind of thing. It's really just the smoker windows. I don't know if the Lotus Europa really had true smoker windows, or if it was, and my nose is itchy. Oh man, my nose was itching there just for a second. I don't know why it started itching all of a sudden, but that's just how it goes, I'll acknowledge. But I don't know if the Lotus Europa had smoker's windows, but what I do know is that not all of the window rolled down. So we have those areas where the window wouldn't have been able to roll down, still there in plastic, which is nice. Of course, this one is right-hand drive, so this is a British version. I don't know if they made a right-hand drive and a left-hand drive version for different markets. I assume they did, though, of course. But this is a right-hand drive model. Manual transmission. I assume that was probably standard on the Lotus Europa, if I had to guess. And the floorboards themselves are that pink plastic bottom, from what I can tell. but the rest of the interior is made up of a gray. Is there a headliner? It looks like the plastic from the windscreen just kind of rolls around, but there is actually, wow, there's actually a rear view mirror. Wow, okay, the amount of detail I'm being kind of impressed by right now, not gonna lie, y'all. Taking a look at the side, it's not just pink though. One thing I'm really noticing now that I'm kind of looking at the car a little bit more, there is actually a gold pinstripe going all the way down the side, and then around the engine box in the back, there's another little tiny gold pinstripe with this little sort of white or light gray paint marking in the center of the pinstripe as well. I think we can kind of see that with the lighting right now. There's a couple like divots just in the hood as well right there, just for the hood vents, and just a little ridge right there. Of course, this is a die-cast model that is meant to be more accurate than not for the size, and they've definitely nailed the accuracy in my personal opinion. Overall, yeah, no, looks fantastic. Just taking a look at the front, there's another little gold pinstripe square right there with the Lotus logo in the center. To the sides of that, there's these little lights kind of right there with my fingers are. That's the turn signals, if I remember correctly, and then the actual headlights themselves to either side as well. And yeah, the front bumper in front of that, little scoop right there looking like a happy face, and we get the tail lights on the back right there under the bumper, and you can see the latch for where it lifts up right there as well. Overall, yeah. Oh wait, I'm just noticing on the front windscreen there's actually a wiper blade molded in there as well. Oh man, that's pretty nice. Yeah, the level of detail that's going on with this, I mean, like, for being a $1.25 die-cast car, I personally think the detail level is pretty dang good. And honestly, I mean, like, that's kind of always been my opinion about Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars, even when they were $1 a piece when I was growing up. Like, the level of detail for the price and the level of quality you get for the price of these, in my opinion, is just so fantastic. In my opinion, Matchbox cars are some of the best value for money die-cast models and toys in general kind of thing. They really are just great value for money for what you get, in my opinion. Way better value for money than some toys, that's for sure. And I'm definitely still seeing that with this one right here. I gotta admit, they have maintained the quality they are known for over the years, and that is something I do much appreciate. Taking a look at the wheels themselves, there are some ridges on it just to make it look like they actually have tread, when of course they don't. It's just plastic wheels and whatnot. With the weight of this car, I think if you wanted to send it down a Hot Wheels track or something like that, I certainly don't think it would be the fastest by any means, just because it's not particularly heavy. On Hot Wheels tracks, older cars with metal bottoms tend to do better just because they weigh more. This one, of course, plastic bottom, pretty small, pretty lightweight. The Lotus Europa was pretty lightweight to begin with, making it a fun, easy to throw around car, I figure, at least. But since this is a die-cast model with the lightweight nature of it, it's not going to be the fastest on a downhill for a Hot Wheels track. Feeling how it kind of wants to roll, though. Overall, pretty good. It's not super low by any means. I've definitely got lower Hot Wheels and die-cast model cars in general. This one seems to be about at this stock ride height, I'd say. And frankly put, looks great. Looks great. I think Matchbox has done a great job of making a really nice, affordable, cheap die-cast model of the Lotus Europa. I think they've done a great job with it. For $1.25, how can I complain about this? I think it looks great. I am personally a big fan of the Lotus Europa. I think they're super interesting cars. Don't know if I'd ever want to own one myself. I think that would be interesting. Don't know if I ever want to own one myself. But I do think they're very interesting. I think they're really cool. I've been a fan of them ever since I was younger, when I owned a model just like this one, but in a different color. I think they're really cool. I think they're very interesting cars with a very unique stylization to them. I mean, like, this kind of hump on the back has always been super memorable to me. I'm just kind of like, most of the time, like, my personal, like, ideal stylistic sort of choices for cars is to have, if it's a sedan, for example, the hood level, let's say the hood level is right here, the roof level is right here, and then on a lot of like sedans and stuff like that, like you'll have that level where the roof is right here and it kind of slopes up, but then the trunk itself will be higher up than where the hood is at its highest when it meets the roof. And for me, that's always kind of looked just, I don't know. It's just not really my thing. I like the whole even look kind of thing. There's exceptions to that, of course, as with everything. And this is one of those really big exceptions. I really like how the hood itself is so low compared to the trunk being so high. It looks so asymmetrical in a good way, not in a bad way like so many cars have done, kind of thing. And that's just kind of my personal design preference. It's not saying that doing that is good or bad kind of thing. And I realize that some people may prefer that design preference. It's just not my personal thing, of course. But I really like the stylization of the Lotus Europa just due to the asymmetricalness of it when looked at from a side angle. I think it is really interesting, and I quite like that, personally speaking. I'll acknowledge, yeah. Now, overall, not only do I like the Lotus Europa just as much as I used to, but I also quite like this specific Matchbox Lotus Europa die-cast car as well. Overall, it is pretty great quality, especially for the price. For $1.25, it's hard to beat, frankly put. And frankly put, I'm glad to have bought it. I am quite glad to have bought it. I have absolutely no regrets about having bought it. And it's going to be a great piece to have on the shelf. Absolutely no complaints on my behalf. I will acknowledge I am very happy with my purchase. And, you know, let's just... Yeah, it rolls pretty well. Whoo! Those just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. Okay, all right, you know. 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4 die-cast model. This is fantastic. This is amazing. I love it. It is amazing. It is one of the best die-cast models of all time. Slightly biased because I owned one when I was a kid. But, I like it. This was absolutely a worthwhile purchase. Pink might not generally be my preference of color for cars, but I don't care. It's a Lotus Europa. It's got a unique color for a unique car, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, frankly put. I am quite glad to have unboxed this car today, and I am quite glad to have had a good time while doing so. As said, a 4 out of 4 for the 1972 Lotus Europa Matchbox car in pink that I unboxed today. Is there anything else I want to mention? I covered basically all the details of the Matchbox car that I could think of. Is there anything else? The back glass is clear. That's nice. It's very tiny. It's there, though. Anything else I want to mention? Like, design-wise or anything like that of the Matchbox car itself? Or no, I think that's about it. I don't really think I'm missing too much of anything. Quality-wise, it's good. Look-wise, it's good. Details-wise, the details are all very high quality. I like that quite a bit. Oh yeah, mirrors. The mirrors are on there. I almost forgot to mention the mirrors right there. Excuse me, just had a little bit of a burp for some reason. Yeah, good quality. Oh, and in my opinion, I'm getting more jumbled up. Good quality, a great level of detail for the price. I mean, like $1.25, and you're getting not only a well-built diecast, but you're getting one that actually has a surprisingly high amount of detail as well. And it's just great value for money. For $1.25, you're getting something that, in my opinion, unless you literally throw it around and run it over with your car on concrete, it can quite possibly last you a lifetime. Even if you send it down a Hot Wheels track every day, even if the axles give out, it will still exist, kind of thing. Yeah, nah, great. I'm a fan. 4 out of 4 for it, and I have no regrets about my purchase, and I'm very glad that I bought this car right here. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching today's video. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to mention, so I think that's all there is to this video right here. Appreciate y'all watching today's video where I unboxed a pink 1972 Lotus Europa Matchbox car, and chatted about it just a little bit and gave it a little bit of a review. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my Patreon, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. Appreciate y'all watching. To the next one, stay safe in peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?